There we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. We're going to get to meet Callum in a second, guys. There we go. So, welcome aboard at your mission briefing, ladies and gentlemen, for Mission Slim Possible. Just going to tell you that tonight is going to be about getting you in the shape that you really want to get in this year with a slight little spin on what we normally do. We're going to be calling it Mission Slim Possible. And the reason we called it Mission Slim Possible is that what we wanted to do is we wanted to show as many people as we could that getting slim is possible. And, you know, it is targeted at people that are not at Fast Way to Fitness. However, I think that a lot of the people who come to Fast every single day can benefit from this, because what we're going to be sharing with you is the most up-to-date things that we are doing. We're sharing with our personal training clients, our one-to-one, highly valued members, and also the kick-ass people that come to see us every single day. So what I'll be sharing with you tonight is some of the reasons why people get out of shape, why our lives can get out of track and off track, and what we can do about that, and what we're going to be doing on this Mission Slim Possible. And if you've heard my stuff before, or you're new to Fast and you're new to listening on one of these things on like the webinars, you're going to get some value, because I've got a coach myself. I hear him say the same things over and over again, and when I'm in the right place, I know it. I listen to it better. I feel better about what I hear. Like I've heard Glenn, my coach, tell people about different ways to market or different bits of coaching 3 different times. But it's only on the 3rd time when I've heard it and it's been pertinent to my life in that place and time that I've gone and actioned it. So, really stay switched on. Stay, really engage with this webinar, because what's that going to do for you is that you're not going to miss anything. You've invested the time tonight, so make sure your phones are off or, put to the side. Make sure you've got yourself a space where you can listen and you can enjoy. And what I want you to do is lean into the discomfort of asking questions, making sure you get the most from it, and also just thinking to yourself, where is the information that I share with you tonight relevant to you in your life? Where is it relevant to your mission that you're on? Have you even chosen that you've got a freaking mission or not? Or are you just going with the flow? Because having no plan is actually having a plan. It's choosing not to choose. So what we're going to be doing tonight is really dialing in on the things that you can do to start getting some mobility in your fitness, health, and your diet and your lifestyle, guys. Okay, cool. So I'm in control tonight, guys. I'm here for you. My name is Benjamin Owen. Those guys who don't know me, I'm the managing director of Fast Way to Fitness. I've been a trainer since I was probably about 14, 15. I've trained athletes to football players to people who want to get on a podium for sport to people who want to get up, who want to get married. I'm a bit of a training whore, really. But what I've learned over the years is I love progress. And I'm here to help you progress because I'm so passionate about people like yourselves who want to start making progress in their lives. And I feel that the fitness industry makes it really, really difficult for someone like yourself to often progress because you're overwhelmed with information and different opinions on things. So what we're trying to do at Fast is we're trying to make more people have more energy, because I believe the world needs more people who feel great about who they are and how they show up. So what we want to try and do is help you feel better about yourself. We want to help you feel more energetic, and we want you to feel more confident, right? Because a lot of the time we gravitate towards something like fitness because we want to feel better about ourselves. So what we're going to share with you and instilling in you guys is the tools that you can actually go and do that. Because what I feel like sometimes is when we feel miserable about ourselves or our lives or our current financial status or our relationship status, we go and try and take a load of control on our body. We start restricting calories. We start beating ourselves up about how we look and not really being nice to ourselves. And so what we're trying to do is show you the tools that you can start to use to change that. And so my mission this year is to help over 1,000 people change their lives, absolutely transform their lives. And you'll be hearing from, I've got a guy sat next to me. We're going to be hearing about how we changed his life this year. And what we want to do is we want to change the health culture in at least 500 businesses in 2016. That's my personal goal. So that's my fast goal. We want to transform over 1,000 people's lives this year. And we want to help 500 businesses change the culture in their operations. And this is how I'm going to go about it. Okay, these are my steps that I'm going to be taking. I'm going to be delivering 45 to 90-minute webinars, seminars, and workshops. I've already done about about 12 or 13 of these, so I'm well on the way to my target. I want to work with 120 business owners and leaders. And what we've been doing is trying to create a fast food community of over 10,000 people who collectively talk have a better conversation about food and start to look at the best way to feed ourselves. And really what I want to do is to have a gym full of people who just report results on a daily basis. One of the best things to me is when a client who is new or who has been with us for about 5 years comes up to me and says, Ben, you know what I've been doing? This is happening in my life. I'm really, really grateful because it's something to do with fast. It makes my day. That's what I'm so passionate about, guys. So this is how we intend to go making more energetic people. And what I want to ask you first, guys, is what are you aiming for? What are you aiming for this year? What are your goals? What are you on this webinar for? So what I want you to do now is I want you to go to the comments and questions box and tell me what are you aiming for this year. So come and tell me. So I'm going to pop this down so we can get the comments and questions box up. That's it. So go to the comments. What are you going to do this year? Are you aiming to drastically lose weight? Bit deeper than that, Sarah. I want deeper than that. What are you aiming for? Really, really think deep, guys. I want to say, what are you aiming for? Because if I was to write before and I said, what am I aiming for this year? If I said just make more money, it would have been a bit boring, a bit soulless. And lose weight's the same thing. I want to have energy from the moment I get up in the morning to the moment I go to bed at night. Have a little think, guys, and write it in the comments and questions box. So, okay, guys, so left you for a second or two to write there. 4 stone weight loss by the end of the year from my main man, Steve Fern. Steve Fern is my branding manager, and he's also my best mate from uni. I learned probably the most about fat loss from Steve and living with Steve for 3 years. We've also got a great relationship as well. Awesome. So 4 stone weight loss. I want to look at myself in the mirror and like what I see. Love what I see. I love that. Nice, dude. Drop body fat lower than 20%. Why, Trina? Why do you want that? Yeah. So what are you aiming for this year? Why do you want that as well? 90% body fat. So I've got one person saying 20, and now someone's saying 19. So we've got 12 people on this webinar, guys. And what I want you to do is I want you to go into the comments and questions box, and I want you to tell me what you are aiming for this year. I really want to know, before we go any further, guys, you've invested the time coming onto the webinar and tell me. So here we go. So I want to have energy and look and care for my daughter, feel happy with life. I absolutely love that. Lois, you're not going to get away with that. Okay? Just give me something, baby. Give me something to work with. Come on. You've taken the time to come on the webinar, guys. I want you to put down in writing what you are aiming for this year. It could be that you're not thinking September, October, November time. You're just the next month. If it's too much to think for the year, let's think about monthly targets. I want a little goal from everyone. Sean, I need to let go. We've got to go. I'm thinking. Come on, we need about 3 more before we're moving on, guys. There we go. Oh, Olivia, I love it. Olivia is absolutely flying at the moment, Rob says. I think that's so as well. More energy. Stop feeling tired mid-afternoon. Love it. Running the GNR without dying. I'd love to find out what the GNR is. Great North Run. Okay. Trina, it's a personal goal. Makes me feel better about myself and my body confidence. Brilliant. Lose 2 stone and before Ibiza in June. I got an emergency call from a client the other day, and she said she's gone on holiday and she wants to lose that weight before she goes on holiday. So this is awesome, guys. So we've got some clear goals here, which is great. So what I'm going to tell you guys is now you've written that down, it's more likely it's going to happen. Only a little bit more likely it's going to happen, but it's a little bit, it's making that first step, it's making that commitment. Because you've said it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And what I want you to think about is what you've just written is, as I go through this webinar, how are you going to start making steps towards that goal? If it's lose an extra % body fat, if it's doing the Great North Run, think about the stuff I'm sharing with you and how it's going to add to your pursuit of this goal that you want to have, right? So what I'm going to be taking you through tonight, guys, and this is really important, is I'm going to be introducing you to Mary and Mike, my two client story makers. These guys are the people that every single story that comes into Fast, every single person that comes into Fast has a story. And what I do is I steal their stories and I tell those stories via the vehicle of Mary and Mike. So Mary and Mike aren't people, but they're a culmination of all the stories I've ever had at Fast Meets Fitness. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a little chat with Callum. He's sat next to me. He was going to be on the webinar, but he just said he's just going to just sit next to me instead. We're going to be going through what makes us fat, sick, and tired, so you can start to think about the things that are going wrong or going askew in your life, so we can start to put them back on track. And then finally, what we're going to be talking through is how we create change. And these are really, really simple steps. And I'll be talking you through Missions to Impossible 1.0. So I'm going to be going at quite a fast pace because I want to get finished in the 45 minutes I promised you, but equally I want it to keep it high energy. I want to keep it fast moving. I want to keep you writing down stuff. I want to keep you joining in. So at any point, if you've got a question, if you've got something that you really want to ask, write it in the comments and questions box in the GoToWebinar control panel, and I will answer it, between each slide, and I'll also come back to it. If you've got any questions at the end, you can just reach out to me, and we'll talk through it, on Facebook, guys. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to give you the most, the best experience possible, and the most information or the least information you need to make the biggest changes. Right, there we go. We've got monthly goal is £7. New website, authorization, logo, bedrooms moved. Go to Wembley. I love that. Awesome. So I love you writing that down as well, Lois. So this is Mike. Mike is a guy who gets out of bed in the morning. He's straight off his pillow into his emails. He scrolls through Facebook. He's stressed. He's self-employed. He's married to Mary, who's we're going to meet in a second. And wakes up in the morning and he's just not hungry. He walks downstairs. He doesn't really want to have toast, so he just grabs a coffee and heads off into work. And he actually goes to Providero, has some toast actually because he likes the smell of it, and has some toast and has a toast and some coffee. So he gets into work. He's not hungry, and he gets on with some work. He starts working at his desk, and he's not productive. His head's not in the game. He's stressed as it is. He's worried about money. And the business is providing with all the necessary stresses that a business can provide. And what Mike often does is he'll work through his lunch because he feels like if he works through his lunch, he'll get more done. And because he's not hungry, it makes it easier to do so as well. It gets to about mid-afternoon, and he's got to go to a meeting. He's got to be the best he can in this meeting for his business. But because he's hungry, he's tired, he's stressed, he finds that he gets into these meetings, he's not present, he doesn't make the best decisions, he's reactive. And generally, this isn't helping his business. This is the thing that's led to his business being a stress in the first place. And over time, he's getting more and more stressed and less in love with what he's doing in the first place. He became self-employed so he could live the lifestyle where he didn't have to work all day and he didn't have this crazy boss. So he didn't have to deal with staff. And all of a sudden, he's like this megalomaniac of a self-boss. He misses his lunch breaks. He makes himself work from dusk till dawn. And when he gets home at the end of the night, he's just so tired. Playing with the kids is difficult. He's, so wired after the 4 coffees had in the day. He struggles to sleep. And that cycle repeats time and time again. So what I want you to do, guys, is if you know Mike, what I want you to do is go in the comments and questions box now and say, yep, I know Mike. Just say, I know Mike, just so we've got a reference point and know I'm in the right place. You know that you're in the right place. Do you know somebody like Mike? You can feel free to say, I am Mike as well. And I've actually had, are you describing as well? Yep. I know Mike. Yeah, I know Mike. So everyone knows Mike here. So I know Mike personally, right? Okay, so we've got quite a few people that know Mike. Well, Mike's wanting to make some change, right? He's stressed out. He's wired. He's tired. He's probably drinking in the evening as well. And he's just trying to find a way to numb his stress. He's married to Mary. Mary's got no energy. You see, Mike's stressed and wired, but Mary's stressed and tired. She's literally feeling like she's dragging herself off the pillow in the morning. The first thing she thinks about is, I haven't had enough sleep. And the last thought before bed is, I haven't done enough today. She feels like she's constantly on a treadmill where she's not doing enough. And then because she's practiced the word not enough, she feels like she's not thin enough, she's not clever enough, she's not smart enough, she's not good enough, she's not successful enough. And so what Mary is living in is a scarcity sandwich where she feels like she's constantly not good enough, and this is starting to feel a dent in her confidence. So what Mary's starting to do is she's starting to eat chocolate to make herself feel better. She's stressed with the kids. She's not present, so she feels sometimes that she feels bad and guilty that she's taking out the stress on the kids. And this cycle is meaning that following a diet for Mary is a freaking nightmare. She doesn't want to eat stuff like broccoli when chocolate tastes a lot better. So no matter how much Ben at Fast tells her to start eating broccoli, she's going to end up eating chocolate because the way that she feels about herself and about her life. And Mary keeps trying these Slimming World and diet clubs, and she's tried like exercising herself, but it's not meeting the things that she really wants to have from just trying to make some self betterment. So what I want you to do, guys, is if you know Mary, just put "I know Mary" in the box. Like I know Mary, or I feel Mary's pain, or something like that. Yeah. So we've already got like, oh my God, I'm so Mary. Of 2 people, yeah, I know Mary. Yeah. Okay, so everyone's smiling and laughing there. So yeah, I know Mary. So we all know Mike and Mary. Well, before I go on, like I want to introduce you to Callum. I was talking the other day with Cal, and I asked him to come on the webinar. And Callum, like myself, is a self-employed business owner. And before he came to Fast, Callum was a Mike, weren't you, mate?
Yeah, pretty much.
And
just love the lager.
Yeah, he's actually. I mean, he's quite a good photo there, buddy. And Callum, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions, man, because these guys here, they know Mike and Mary. So, what was your life like before you came to Fast?
You just got used to like eating bad food, takeaways all the time, loads of sugar, loads of beer. I remember knock-on effect. Obviously, you pile on weight. I hit like 17.5 stone. You end up looking quite fat, like in my picture. Can everyone see that?
Yeah, you can see it, man. Yeah.
You just feel bad all the time, always tired, run down, like throwing up because the diet's so bad, getting proper fat, unfit. Like literally can't like do anything with your mates and that because you feel knackered all the time.
Yeah.
And then obviously it has a knock-on effect on your business and that, because you get lazy, you don't want to get up in the morning. You're getting up like 11 o'clock, midday, half your day is gone. It's just knock-on effect, isn't it?
Yeah. So because I remember like I was actually on my honeymoon when you started, and I remember what was the we've got Mike and Mary and the guys at home, might be in that same situation where they know and feel Mike and Mary's pain. What was the catalyst? Like, what was the thing that made you go, right, this is going to stop. I'm going to stop living the life of Mike.
There's 3 main things. One of them was like my mates, a bit of banter. Basically, they showed me this picture of this like really fat bloke sat on the beach, and they said, "Oh, when we all go Ibiza next year, that fat bloke's going to be you if you don't go to Fast."
That's some tough love, man.
So yeah, tough love.
That's tough love.
Fair, that was a bit of a wake up call.
Yeah.
Because obviously you see it and you think, yeah, you got a good point there.
Yeah.
The other thing, there's somebody I know who's like really, really fat, and one day somebody mixed me up with him, and I really saw myself as a mega fat person until one day they called me this other guy's name, and obviously the penny dropped down.
I think like what I think everyone on the webinar as well can agree with this. Like, what happens is that you start having these patterns, like where you're drinking loads of coffee, or you start gaining, start doing things that are not helping you be healthy, and all of a sudden, like you turn around after like 2 weeks, you're like, oh my God, I've done that like 5 times.
Yeah.
And I can totally empathise with that as well. So like this picture on the right here, guys, this is Carl at Christmas. What were the results you got when you made that decision? What happened?
Well, when I started, I was 26.6% body fat, and at that time, that picture, I was 17%. My excess body fat was 0, and I did it in 10 weeks.
So tell me, how many grams of fat is that? Like, how many kilos of fat? It's quite a lot.
I went from 107 point something kilos, 108 kilos to about 95.
Wowzers. Carl, that's a transformation.
Yeah, in 10 weeks.
So what has this meant for you in terms of your life, your business? Like, what's been the biggest kind of,
well, yeah, it's just better again. It's back to where it should be at. Getting leaner, getting fitter. I'm getting up early in the morning again. I feel great. I'm not like feeling bad through poor diet. I try to come to fast in the morning as much as I can. So, get up early, go training, go home, get a shower, and then that's it. My day starts nice and early again.
Nice routine there, yeah.
I can get in decent clothes again. Business is better. Obviously I'm more switched on, more on the ball. My days are more structured and that. It's just better, isn't it? You got more routine, don't you?
And what's been the biggest thing that's caused it? Like, what's been like the thing? What's the glue that's held you to keep coming down?
Seeing results.
Seeing results.
Results, yeah.
Nice, man. Like, is it anything to do with like, obviously trying to promote fast here. Like, what's the difference between fast and another gym?
The other gyms that I tried in the past never worked because you've got nobody there pushing you. You're just like doing your own thing. It's easy to just go in the gym, think you're doing something, but really you spend more time faffing and thinking about what you're going to do. But you are work, but you dedicate to the gym.
Yeah.
A good 30-40 minutes of it is gone in faffing.
Yeah.
Whereas in fast, you might come for 40-45 minutes because the structure's done for you and it just literally just flows.
Guys, who knows Callum's pain here? Like, who can put, they've been to a gym before, they've walked in the gym, have every intention of doing like a heroic workout, and like, because there's nobody there to keep them accountable, they've either like gone on the cross trainer or perhaps skipped the beat someone. Like it's quite common. Like, when I was on a honeymoon with Sean, we were going around and we were going to the gym there, and because we were keeping each other accountable, we were more likely to go and we were likely to train. But when I went on one day on my own, I just didn't have the motivation. Sometimes it's like it is having that companionship of working out with other people. Cal, cheers, man, for your help here, man. And thanks so much. Have a good evening in Peterborough.
All right, cool. Yeah. See you all soon.
Alive, normally gets one of the phones, so it's weird having someone sat next to me on a webinar.
See you later,
it's a bit, cheers, buddy. It's a bit lonely sat here in front of a screen, but Okay, let's get on, guys. Okay, so we got a lot of people reaching out saying, totally agree with Callum that working out on your own is hard, right? So what I want to share with you guys is like, what is the things that can turn your results into things like Callum's, because it's all of you are capable of getting absolutely incredible results from your programs, whether that's a program at Fast, a program in gym. But what is the things that first of all cause us to put on body fat, and second of all, what's the things that hold us together when we're trying to lose it? And what I want to ask first, guys, is who is on the nutritional treadmill? This is where you perhaps get up in the morning. You have a wheat-based breakfast. It's perhaps from a cereal bowl. It's like, it's something like from Kellogg's, cornflakes, toast, or some Weetabix. Your mid-morning snack is something like a cereal bar or a cake of some description or a chocolate bar. By lunchtime, you want something stodgy because you're so hungry, you're stressed out, and you have some like a pasta meal because it's healthy. Mid-afternoon, you'll have some more toast, or if someone's in the office and they're having cake, you'll have some cake. And then when you get home, you'll have a piece of toast or like a scone or something, or just something that will just satiate you enough until tea, where you'll have a half-decent tea, or you'll have some more pasta or some more something like that, like a real stodgy carb evening meal. Who is on that nutritional treadmill? Tell me if it's me, or I used to be that. Yeah, okay, so got quite a few people, me, yeah. And it's a nutritional treadmill. A couple of the guys that were at Fast saying that's not me, and I totally understand, guys. However, there will be patterns in our nutrition because we're pattern-based creatures. And so what we're looking at is if Mary and Mike, previously Callum was on that nutritional treadmill, what's going to happen is it's going to be very, very difficult for them to create change. And this is why, okay? Because what happens is that drinking loads of coffee means that they'll be dehydrated. Eating loads of pasta and lots of, starchy foods means they'll be eating way too many carbs and not enough protein. Eating loads of processed foods and quick foods that have a massive shelf life means that they'll be preserved and they'll be toxic to your body. And the stress that Mary and Mike have, elevated stress all the time, And equally, they're inflamed because all the bad oils, like the vegetable oils that they have at the cooked breakfast, or even just a high sugar diet, is making their body painful, inflamed. They get aches and pains everywhere, and they're equally deficient because they're drinking so much coffee, having so much wine. All their magnesium, the calcium is used to buffer the acidity of those foods. So what's happening is that Mary and Mike want to change, but because they're dehydrated, they're malnourished, they're toxic, they're stressed, they're inflamed, and they're deficient, they feel like crap. And when you feel like crap, it's really, really difficult to make any changes to your life. And so what we're going to be doing, guys, is we're going to start looking in different places. Because what I find in the fitness industry, and this is a little story for you guys. A guy walks into his house and puts his keys down on the sides. Walks into the living room and he sees his wife on all fours, looking under the couch. And he goes, "Babe, what's going on?" And she goes, "Oh, I've lost my earrings." And he looks at her and is like, "Well, where did you lose them?" And she goes, "Well, I lost them in the bedroom." And he scratches his head and he says, "Well, why are you looking in the lounge?" And she says, "Well, the light's better in here." And what I mean by this, guys, is that in the fitness industry, I feel like what we get comfortable doing is looking for the answers where we commonly go. Like when we want to change our bodies, we restrict calories. When we want to feel better, we eat chocolate. And what we commonly do is when we're trying to remedy our our sort of things that we want to change or that we're not too happy with, we always go to the same things and the same places to do it. And what it's about is like taking a different approach sometimes. You know, about searching in the dark for the things that are uncomfortable about yourself as well. Like a lot of it is about looking inside yourself and saying, well, actually, if I've been on every diet and done everything, what are the things that I need to start changing about me? Is it that I need to start being accountable to myself? And actually, when I make a promise to myself, I keep that promise. And this is hard to, anyway, do I need to be a bit more honest about what I'm doing to myself? Do I need to stop lying to myself about how well I'm actually hitting my targets or how much I'm actually eating? Or do I actually need to go and do that awkward thing of measuring my food or tracking my food? Because I've never done that before because it's in the dark and I find it difficult and scary and I feel like I might get it wrong. So what I'll carry on doing is doing the shakes or doing the easy diets or doing the things I've always done and find easy because the light's better on them. I can do them easier. And who can say, yeah, that's definitely me? They'll go to things that they know they can do, other than attack things that they find difficult or awkward or hard, and they find themselves just looking in the same place over and over again and not finding the right answers. So go in the comments and questions box and tell me if that's you guys. Is that you, that you keep doing the same things, thinking they're going to have yeah? So it's like saying to yeah, so we're getting a resounding, a resounding yes. That this is me, used to be me, but I still do this sort of stuff. I need to measure and track. So what it's about, guys, is actually saying, well, what things have I been scared of doing, like eating more protein? Is it tracking my food? And we're going to be going through these tonight. And do I need to go and do that? The reasons we don't go and do that is because we have coping mechanisms, guys. Like for stress and for gaining weight, we have coping mechanisms. Like who here has got an iPhone? Who here has updated that iPhone from the 4 to the 5 to the 6? Well, what the updates have been for is for the iPhone to cope with the extra demands of life in the 2016 social media massive market that we've got. Equally, when you have the iPhone 6, you'll get an update sent to you saying, will you update your software? Well, what that software updates for is so the programs run smoother. Well, we update our phones, but equally we have to update our coping mechanisms for our life, our stresses. So things like multiple coffees may have served you when you were 19 and made out of rubber. They will not serve you the same when you're 45 trying to run a business and trying to get better sleep and lose some body fat. Whining about a problem instead of getting to the crux and having the difficult conversations that make the changes. These are the things that don't cause change. Like whining about a problem, it's great. It makes you feel a little bit better short term, but long term, it doesn't solve the issue. And finally, skipping meals to cope with time pressure. It may have worked at some point of your life, but then you've got to find new coping mechanisms and strategies to help you do that. And part of the program at Fast, we show you how to, have compensation. We talk about how to have meals that can be made in a shaker and can be quick and on the go. And we show you things that you can have instead of coffee. Okay? So all I want you to do, guys, now is take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Get nice and present for me. So being present is important. Because when you're stressed and you go to a workout and your head's elsewhere and you're not in the game, you're not in the state to train. So every single time that someone walks into the gym at Fast, we take a nice long deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth for 2 minutes. And what this allows every single one of our members to do is get focused on the workout at hand. This guy here is a guy called Philip Zimbardo, and he wrote the book called The Time Paradox. And what the Time Paradox says is that we either live in the past, the present, or the future. And those 3 time zones are equally important. We've had a great past, or we're looking forward to a great future. But equally, the only time that we have the influence on is right now. Thinking about what being the fat kid as a child, being the fat kid, or how you used to look, or what you didn't look like at 30, and regrets and stuff like that. They may have manifested, but they're not going to serve you guys. And equally, worrying about the day that never comes. So what I want to invite you to do when you take this sort of a mindset into your training is, what can I do right now that's going to make me feel great? Do you need to take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth? Do you need to go and do some movement in your office? And what I've found is that Mike and Mary live in the past and live in the future. Mike lives in the future because he's always worrying about the bill that's coming tomorrow, or the tax that he's got to pay. And Mary is living in the past of what she used to look like. So neither of them are in the present. And so it's very, very difficult for them to take any action, to change things. So what I want you to do, guys, is the fastest way to get present is to take a breath. And equally, if Mike and Mary are sat at work all day and they're chest breathing, this doesn't actually activate the lower back. So Mike ends up with back pain. Mary ends up with knee pain because her back's tight, because they're constantly leant over the desk, breathing like Darth Vader through the mouth. However, if they breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, and they work their upper and lower back and their chest and their belly, what happens is they feel better. So what I want you to do now, guys, is take a long, deep breath in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your mouth. And if you feel better, write in the comments and questions box. Mike and Mary are equally feeling an overfill of stress. There's stress from work. There's stress they're giving themselves. They talk to themselves so badly. Like, Mary calls herself fat and ugly and stupid and not good enough every single day when she looks in the mirror. Oh, I can't believe you look fat in those jeans. Oh, you look fat in that picture. And so Mary's quite horrible to herself. But the only reason she says these things is because she's practiced saying these things. And equally, Mike gives himself a hard time. You used to be so much more confident. Why can't you do this anymore? You should be able to do this, Mike. And so what they've got is this overfill of stress. And I was talking to a client about this today. If your stress bucket is full to the brim, you have got no capacity for extra stress. So if you walk into my fitness camp, or you walk into do an online program, or if you walk into a gym, and that stress bucket is full to the brim, any extra stress you put on top is overspill. And that overspill is breakdown, upset, where you feel great, illness. So what we've got to do is we've got to find things that are going to empty the stress bucket quickly. Who here really finds, that this is like a pertinent example for them? Like, who here says like, yes, I've got a pretty full stress bucket. It gets filled up pretty quickly. Who's someone who has got a really fast filling stress bucket, guys? Say yes, that's you. There you go. I'm scared of. Okay, who's it? Yes, totally full stress bucket. Yes. Okay, cool. This is not being judgmental, guys. This is actually just accepting, like, oh, actually, do you know what? I give myself a lot of stress and pressure to be really good at my job. That could totally fill Mary's stress bucket. Like, she puts massive amounts of pressure on herself to be perfect, whereas Mike just has a lot to do. Like, he might just have 5 tasks, and he's a guy and he can do one at a time. So different people have different ways of stressing themselves out. Like, I know people who are super stressed, but they look cool as a cucumber on the outside. Equally, I know people that are super stressed but go around like a firework. So what we're doing is actually thinking about, with Mike and Mary, how do we start to, before they start training, empty that stress bucket? Because I even sat with a client today, and when a client comes in and if their stress bucket is too full, I will not make them an offer to train, because it's not going to be the thing that's going to help empty that stress bucket. And it's not going to be the thing that gets them results. So what I want you to do is the fastest way to empty your stress bucket, or to put more taps in your stress bucket, guys, is social investment. Okay? And the best way to invest in your social circle is to send a little gratitude message. And then it sounds really, hokey and like, okay, yeah, happy, whatever. But the depth and the breadth of your social support network is one of the biggest things that empties that stress bucket. Because when you go home at the end of the day and you're really connected to your husband, you're really connected to your family, your kids, just actually turning to someone, texting them, saying this to them, saying, hey, Mike, I just really wanted to share with you how grateful I am for your support through, I know I'm a nightmare. I do this and I do that, but I'm just grateful for you and that you're there for me. And what I want you to do, guys, is I actually want you to get out your phone right now, and I want you to text somebody that you love, care for, that you need to reach out to, and you're going to send that message to them. Hey, name, I just really wanted to share with you how grateful I am for ... You can do that while I take a nice long sip of my protein shake. Okay, so you do that. When you've done it, write done in the comment box. Sean was right out of there. Well done, Sean. Love it. How do you feel after doing that, Sean? Tell me, right in the comments box. How do you feel after doing that? Feel better? Feel good? Lois? Oh, Lois, you text me. Oh, Steve texted me as well. Cheers, Steve. Hey, Ben, I just wanted to text you and tell you that I love you. I love you too, man. Oh, I feel good now. Awesome. Okay, I was doing a talk for some business owners over at Clanfield College the other day, and the guy who was hosting the event texted his brother, and he said, hey, brother, I don't know what his name was. Just really wanted to share with you how grateful I am for your support, and I love you very much." And his brother called him 6 times in the meeting. I think he thought he was gonna do something a bit wrong to himself. So, but yeah, you normally get some odd replies to this. But yeah, you do it, you feel good. And guys, social investment is one of the most important things. Like, our team at Fast, we work on our social on connecting with each other every single day. And this is the reason I'm sharing this with you guys, is that if you are like Mike and Mary, you feel on your own, sometimes you do need to actually actively engage in working on that social support network, texting your friends these kind of messages. My friends feel really awkward when I ask questions amongst the around the dinner table, like, "You guys, what's your big win for today?" And they were like, they're a bit funny when they first have to do it, but they really enjoy it when they do. And so, if you're trying to get success on a program, practicing social investment is going to be really, really important. Equally, Mary and Mike have got no rhythm. They're up in the morning with the light. They get to 12 o'clock. Their energy falls towards 6, and they're meant to wind down, repair, and get back up again. But what happens is they have a load of coffee. Their energy levels soar up this red line here. They peak at around about 10, and then they start dipping really, really quickly. And by about 12 o'clock, they're in the basement. So a normal person's energies keeps on going up until about 12. But Mike and Mary, they are hitting, they nearly feel like they should be in bed. And by the time they get home, 6 p.m., everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's tired, but somebody who is so Mike and Mary, they don't really wind down. They've drunk so much coffee, they don't get into that deep wind down sort of feeling, so they miss out on a load of physical repair. If you're getting up to go to the loo multiple times a night between 10 and 2 to go for a pee, it means that your liver is overworked. It means your physical repair is being taxed. So if Mike and Mary are getting up to go to the loo between 12 and 2, it means that their liver needs a little bit of a detox and they need to look after themselves a little bit better. Equally, if they're going for a pee between 3 and 5, it means that their adrenal glands, their stress handling glands, are a bit taxed as well. So what we need to do is we need to help Mike and Mary see this in their life, that their stress bucket is full. And what's happening is they're not getting the physical repair. So no matter how much exercise, training, dieting they do, they're not going to see the changes in their body. And because they're getting up at 3 and 5 to go to the loo, it means they're totally stressed out, so their stress bucket is full. Who here finds this really helpful? Like, this is actually like, oh my God, this is me. I definitely, I'm out of whack, I'm out of kilter. Who here needs to get back into that rhythm of up at 6, peak by 12, wind down for 6, and then get around, dim the lights. Yeah. Who here needs to start doing that more, guys? If we're staring into a computer screen at 11 o'clock at night, our body thinks it's 12 noon. So naturally, our stress hormones are going to be pushed up here. So we're going to be only going to be getting like maybe a tenth of our, recovery capacity. This is actually like, I could spend about an hour talking about this one slide, but we're going to move on. And finally, Mary and Mike are of three minds. And this is a way to explain this is that we've got the reptile, we've got the mammal, we've got the human part of your brain. The reptile is responsible for the fight or flight. If I was to go rah now, if you jumped, your reptile part of your brain fired up. Okay, it's responsible for your reactions, your fight, flight, freeze, food, and procreation. So, if Mary is tired, she hasn't eaten, and she walks in the house, and Mike goes, "How's your day, babe?" She goes, "Eh." That's because if she says that or even feels that, it's because the main part of her brain that's working is the reptile part. So she's going to have possibly, she's going to be feeling very reactive. If Mike says anything about her, she's going to go, "Bleh, what are you doing?" She's going to be very, very inarticulate with her words. If she has a conversation, she's not going to be able to, be very, very good with how she explains something. And so when she walked in from work, she's gone reptile. And then Mike is like, "Well, hey, Mary, do you want some of this cake, even though you're on your diet?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, if I don't have the cake, I feel like I'm letting Mike down. But if I do have the cake, I feel like I'm not going to hit my weight loss targets." So what she does, she crumbles because she thinks if Mary's mammalian part of her brain comes under threat, where she thinks by not eating the cake, she'll be ostracized from the tribe, she will eat the cake. It's not even going to be a yes or no. Like, who here has been on a diet and you've been offered a piece of cake or a biscuit or something for someone's birthday in the office, and the pressure that you felt to do it has been almost painful? Like, it's like not even a yes or no answer. Yeah? And what's happening here is your limbic system, your emotional brain is going, "Hey, Mary, eat that cake or everyone else will think you're weird." And then what will happen then is that you won't eat the cake and they'll stop speaking to you and then you'll be chucked out the tribe. Well, this part of our brain was developed when we lived in tribes, but we don't anymore. But however, this is important because if we are reptilian, mammalian, we're not going to get to the human brain, which is this part, the neocortex. So if you think that you want to start planning your, a nice body, really creative and logical thoughts, and you're going to want to be articulate and you want to think really good things about your business, if you're not fed, if you feel like you're being judged, you're not going to be able to use that human brain as well, guys. So this is really important when it comes to diet, okay? And I got someone who jumped in here and said, "This is me. I had fish and chips last night, not because I wanted it, because my daughter did. And my daughter did, and I wanted to share it with her." So that was your emotional brain kicking in there. So when we're dieting, guys, we need to take this into account that all these brains are in play at any one point. And having a program that understands that is vital, absolutely vital. So how do we help them? Okay, so they are toxic. Their coping mechanisms are a bit out of whack. Their stress is through the roof. Their sleeping patterns are not too great. Mary and Mike have just arrived at Fastway to Fitness's door. And what I'm going to share with you to sort of close the tutorial part of tonight is how do we help them? Well, first of all, what we do is we fix their environment. And like this comes down to a study done in, it was actually in the Happiness Advantage, I read this. That in the 1970s, the New York City Police Department couldn't fix the crime rate. No matter how many policemen they put out on the streets, they couldn't fix the amount of crime that was going on from time to time on the streets at any one point. So what happened was they started thinking, like, well, we need a new approach. No matter how many police we put on the streets, we're still getting more and more crime. So what we're going to do is we're going to start cleaning up the environments. So what they started doing is initiatives where they would fix the broken windows, they would remove the burnt out cars, they would remove the graffiti, and they got the community in on it. Sorry. And what this did is it provided a much nicer environment for the people to be in, to live in, and without any direct input on the crime, like in terms of like locking up more criminals, they started to see that people were offending less and less. And this is exactly the same with our diets, guys. So what we do to help Mike and Mary is because if Mary is getting up in the middle of in the morning, she looks in the mirror, she doesn't like what she sees. That's fail one. She looks in the cupboard and she doesn't like clothes. Fail two. Sorry, the wardrobe. She walks downstairs, there's a load of clutter, load of mess she needs to clear up. Fail three. She can't find anything to eat in her cupboards to follow a diet. Fail four. She walks into work and her computer's slow and she just generally feels a mess. Mary's failed 5, 6, 7 times before she's even got to work. So how is she ever going to feel successful or even want to be successful on a diet? So what we've got to do with Mary is we've got to help her clear up. Okay, and we've actually got processes and systems, and you'll be actually getting them as part of this program. If you're going to sign up on this program, you're going to do this program. We're going to go through exactly how to declutter. I know, like you guys all know how to declutter. However, doing it as a big group, getting your mammalian brain behind it, will actually make a massive difference. And the girl in question, gentleman, this lady got married last year. I'm not going to use her name because I haven't asked for permission to use it on this webinar. But she got married last year. She started off by clearing the cupboard underneath her stairs. It's one thing. This eked into every area of her house, and she lost huge amounts of body fat, but she said that she felt great while doing it. And so broken environments can be the cause of why we will go for the sugar or the chocolate instead of the broccoli. So one of the first things you need to think about, guys, is what environment do I need to clear up? Do I need to get rid of my fat clothes? Take massive action and burn my boats, because if they're in my cupboards, I'll go back to them. And I've just had Trina pipe in there, and chime in there, and she said, decluttering is hard, but it feels good. Trina's gone through a massive process of decluttering this year. Couldn't be more proud to be watching her do it. She's absolutely changed her environment. She's like done up her garden, she's done up her whole house. And like what happens there is it starts to make you feel better every single day. Equally, Mary's metabolic fire is in the basement. She keeps going on slimming diets where she keeps trying to eat less. And what's happening, it's like going to a camp. So it's like going camping and putting no logs and no sticks and no wood and no coal on the fire. But the thing about your metabolism is the fire can't go out. So what it does, it turns down the oxygen, it turns down the amount of fuel it burns, it turns down the heat, so it burns longer. And that's what happens with your body. You breathe less, you breathe slower, you breathe for chest, try and get more air in, and your thyroid goes down, you become more acidic. And generally when this happens, you're not burning a lot of calories. So the worst thing you can do with a campfire if you want it to get roaring is put less fuel on it. So what we teach Mary how to do and Mike how to do is to start putting logs on their metabolic fires. And this starts with the process. And when they first put them on, there's going to be an excess of fuel on there, but it will catch up. So when you start stoking your metabolic furnace, your body will have to catch up with that, because it doesn't happen like this. The fire doesn't go up, then you put the fuel on. You put the fuel on, the fire stays low for maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and then it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So when you put the next bout of fuel on, it does it again. It gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So it has to be, the first action is eat more, then burn more. It can't be burn more, then eat more. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Because what happens is, a lot of people will do is they'll burn more, they'll do more exercise, and then they'll try and eat less. So there's a bigger deficit. So the burners get turned down even more. So guys, have a think about what you're doing with your metabolic fire. The way to stoke that fire is to put logs on it, not paper. Logs are like pieces of protein. If you put protein in your body, you can burn an extra 250 to 350 calories per day without even moving. And it's the same with logs on a fire. If you put logs on a fire, they light straight away and they burn hotter for longer than paper or sticks. Okay? So it's about looking at nutrition and thinking about the thermogenic effect of food. How does food operate like a log burner? And the answer is never to eat or put less on that fire, or it's to put the right fuel on the right fire. And finally, it's about tribal behavior, because tribal behavior is contagious. If you have a coffee, your friend will have a coffee. If you drink, your friends will drink. If you start eating better, by causality and proximity, your friends will start going, actually, do you know what? Because Ben's having water, I'll have a water. And what you start to see is behavior is contagious. Like, I started doing Tough Mudders maybe 5 years ago, and then some people started joining me, and all of a sudden it became a thing. Equally, like sitting down at the end of our sessions and learning about food and fitness and focus. When we first started doing it, it was weird, but people started doing it more and more regularly. And finally, being part of a tribe where you identify with the same kind of person next to you is that, like, if these guys here want to gain muscle, so having those kind of people around you trying to do the same thing makes this behavior a lot more common. Going back to that analogy of being in the gym, guys, is that these guys have actually all got to access each other as well as the trainer, because they're all in the same struggle. And that's what we want to try and increase it fast. Is you start asking other people what they're doing and holding them accountable for their goals and actions. So what I'd like you to do, guys, before going to the sort of Mission Slim Possible, it's going to take me about 5-10 minutes to finish that, and we're done, is go into the comments and questions box and tell me what has been your biggest take home from the stuff I've shared with you tonight. What has been the biggest take home? I love you too, Lois. Lois put, like, I love Fast because of the tribe. And then we have got a great tribe, guys. I'm allowed to gloat a little bit because I know we've got a great tribe. We've got such great people coming on here every single day. So grateful. So Fiona Wiltshire saying her biggest take home is eat more protein. How much more, Fee? Tell me how much more you can eat. Olivia, eat more protein. How much more, Olivia? Where are you going to get it from? Where are you going to get, what is it are you going to eat twice as much? You're going to eat a couple more at every meal? Trust the process. Trust the process, Lois. So that's your biggest take home? Feeding the metabolic fire. It's normal how I've been behaving, not different. Just need to learn to do it right. Nice, Sean. I love that. It's like so many people are Mike and Mary, and like so many people resonate with Mike and Mary because I've sat with Mike and Mary thousands of times over. I know that person. Like, we all do it. Even I behave like Mike and Mary. Like, I'll be a bit honest with you guys. I'm not gonna be a bit honest. I'm gonna be really honest. I've been able to eat dairy again, so I've started like having like croissants and like cakes and stuff like that. Not loads, but I had when I was down in London, I had a croissant every morning. I was like, oh my god, I can have croissants again. And so I started pattern that behaviour. And after 3 days in, I was like, oh, I need to stop this and knock it on the head because it's starting to become a pattern. So, Sarah, I need to start behaving myself. I can do it. Try and something nice, Olivia. Olivia's gonna. So we're gonna keep Olivia nice and accountable to that. So Olivia's gonna be having protein with every meal. My biggest take home: clean up my environment and plan to empty my stress bucket. Okay. Need to move from my reptile brain a bit more. Nice, Lewis. And then I thought I had a bit of a cold. No, I can't actually eat dairy now. I'll tell you that another time. Okay. So what I want to share with you guys is what we're going to be doing over the next couple of months at Fast. We're changing the way we do things because, like I said before, I want to try and help more people. And I found that the way that we were doing things wasn't helping as many people as we'd like because people were scared of Fast. They didn't know what it was about. They hadn't experienced the best thing we've got about our group, our community, which is the tribe itself. So what we're going to be doing is over the next couple of months, we're going to have some Missions Impossibles. Missions Impossible 1.1, 0.2, 0.3, and we're going to make it better every single time. But the first one's going to be free. And for those of you guys at Fast, it's free for you, and we're going to get some free information. And what you're going to get is 7 days of Fast coaching from me and from the guys via webinar, via email, and via one-to-one strategy sessions. You're equally going to get 5 days of exercise sessions, like an exercise pass, where you can go to any session and experience it and see what you think of it. And those guys who are currently at Fast, it's an ideal opportunity for you to have a go at different sessions as well. You're going to get a cookbook to help you cook some tasty food, and we're going to give you some lean lists as well. And at the end of the week, we're going to offer the new members at Fast Way to Fitness a 45-minute debrief after completion. So if you complete the full 5 days, okay, that's the mission, the full 5 days of exercise, you will get a 45-minute debrief. And if you want to sign up for a service or you want to just talk about your experience so we can learn about from what you thought, this is what happens at the end of the week. And so how it works is you will receive daily emails. I've already written these because in the past I've tried to do it as I go along and it hasn't worked. So I've already written these and been working my ass off. You can have a Facebook group to talk about your struggles and focus yourselves. Okay. And then also, if you do this online, you'll get 5 online workouts that you can do at home. However, if you live close to the gym, you're allowed to come into the gym and try one of our sessions. Okay, you're allowed to try one of our sessions every day for 5 days as well. And what I want you to do, guys, is I know you guys, so like about a good half of you guys on the webinar are members of our gym, and yourselves, like if people come down, it's free. It's sometimes I feel that because it's free, it's treated like it's free. But what I would like you to do is treat it like you've actually invested £1,000 in the process, because there's so much energy and effort and thought go into this process to make it as great as possible for you to enjoy yourself. I want you to come down and treat it like you've spent £1,000 and you couldn't possibly miss a session because you'd be losing so much of your hard-earned value. Equally, if you're going to do this program, I want you to take action on the information, because one of those things is that sometimes we make things more complicated than they need to be through fear. We're like, it's got to be more complicated than this. Or if we get sent a program, if we do it half-assed or we do it half-heartedly, it gives us a kind of cop-out. Oh yeah, it didn't work for me. When in fact, it's not that it didn't work for you, it's that you didn't apply yourself to it. And I've done that, guys. I'm not calling you out. It might be you, that you've not wholeheartedly invested in something before. So taking action on the information that we send you, it's literally simple steps every single day. Oh, I don't know how I've done that. Okay, sorry, I just need to go back to this. So you'll receive daily emails, you'll have Facebook groups to talk about stuff, you'll have online workouts, and also what we want to do is, if you're a part of Missions Impossible, we want you to make it social. We want you to give us a load of social sort of tags and stuff like that to say that you're part of our tribe, because it'll make you feel part of something and it'll give us great marketing. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to pretend like it's not going to help us. But if you're doing a free trial and you're enjoying it, feel free to just tag yourself in it, Fast Way to Fitness. And the person that gives us most social exposure will get a nice little reward come Friday as well. It's not going to be little, it's going to be pretty big. So my offer to you tonight, guys, is if you want to be a part of Mission Impossible, it's going to be starting tomorrow, okay? And all you need to do is take action on the emails. I've actually, because everyone on this webinar tonight will be receiving the emails that I've been sending. If you haven't received an email, it will be in your junk mail, because to get onto this webinar, you signed up for it. So you really need to go and check that. If you're watching the recording, all you need to do is make sure you go into your junk mail, find that email, click it, and it'll start a sequence where you'll get a load of emails sent to you. So please go and do that. Other than that, guys, what I'm going to do is going to head into some Q&A and just answer any questions you might have, or just going to take care of any, sort of queries about the week or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is, without further ado, I'm going to open the floor to any questions you may have about Missions Impossible, or anything you want to share with me, the value that you've got from the webinar. Other than that, that's my content finished. I'm pretty chuffed I did it in an hour. But yeah, let's hit some questions and answers, guys. So if you've got any questions, guys, head over to the comments and questions box. I'm going to get a little swig of my protein shake. So this is a moment where you get a chance to ask any question you want about how to do something, what to do, where can you, what's the best source of protein, what's the strategy I can use, what time of the gym sessions, anything you want. Is there a question that you can take action on right now and get answered? I can see all your writing away. Thank you very much for saying thank you, Fiona. Sean, what do you recommend exercise? So, what do you recommend exercise sessions per week or regular timing? I'll read that question again. What do you recommend exercise session? Oh, can I just unmute you, Sean? I'm going to unmute you. Easier. Sean. Are you there? Can you hear me? No, it won't let me unmute you. Yeah, it's not working. I was trying to answer your question there. Can you reword that question? So, what do you recommend exercise sessions per week or regular timing, etc.? So, if your question's about like, do you do your workout at the same time every day? Personally, I'm like, unless you've got a shift job that changes shifts, I would definitely train at the same time every day because it creates a pattern. Nice one, Trina. Lovely to have you on board. Thank you ever so much for really glad you came along. Tina, okay, is how many per week? Okay, so Sean, if you're somebody who is getting off the couch and you've never exercised or you haven't exercised recently, 2 is a win. 1 is a win. And building it up from there. If you're someone who currently exercises, I'd start off with 3, see how you go. Tina, okay, so when I was going, I'm doing away on work conference next Wednesday. Okay, how will that impact my week? So what I would say to Tina is do what you can, do your best. Like, so if you can get, so you're going to be a Wednesday conference next Wednesday to Friday. What I'd do is I'd come along on Monday, have a good time, enjoy yourself, and then do the same Tuesday. Enjoy yourself. You might be a little bit sore. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, see and have a go at doing a home workout. See if you manage to do it in your hotel room or in the gym in the hotel, and see if that works for you. Because again, it's like that is the times where you can make the biggest impact. Is at the same time daily. Sean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sending you tomorrow or the day after over the weekend. There will be a timetable of all the sessions that you can attend. There's fitness camps on at 6:15, 9:15, and 6:15 every single day. Okay, and what it does, it just gives you the opportunity to go to any of those ones as well. Hey Ben, Joe, this is Joe Trafford. As I'm already going so fast, can I jump in a transformation session, please? Just one, and can the 5 days include a Saturday and day off midweek? Yes! Joe, you're welcome to have a blast in the transformation sessions. Yes, you are indeed, dude. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Okay, so you'll get the timetable. I've actually got it here. Steve sent it to me before. Steve's on me like a. He's on me like a. I don't know what is this. There we go. You're gonna get this timetable, guys, so you can see my screen anyway. So you'll be getting this timetable. You're welcome to take a screenshot now if you like. So this is like all the sessions you can go to, but that will be coming to you and it'll be sent straight into your inbox. Okay. Is there any other questions, guys? Because I really want you guys to use the time that you've got. Use that time you've got now. Lois, yes, you can definitely try a transformation. So transformation, ladies that lift. So it's on at 7:15 on a Tuesday, Thursday, and a Saturday. Okay. Lois, it's always a pleasure. And okay, awesome. Tina, if you that's awesome. Yeah, so look forward to it. Thank you muchly. Brilliant, guys. So I think we've got all those questions answered, and I'm sure you will have some burning questions. You might want to ask in the Facebook groups. You can inbox me on Facebook. But what I would definitely say, guys, I put a lot of thought into the webinars, the emails that are going to sort of follow up as well. So what I would definitely do is just use them to their full potential. You'll be getting what's called. You'll be getting emailed most days if you're on this email list as well. So get used to hearing my voice and get used to seeing Rob without any clothes on. What is platinum training, Lois? Platinum training is small groups of 4. We no longer do one-to-one personal training at Fast anymore. We no longer offer it. But what we do is small groups of 4, and that is like personal training in a small group where you actually have coaching from me and you have training from the gentleman in the gym as well. So that's at 7:15 Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and there as well. I forgot to fill it in. So there's that's if you're interested in that, you can definitely have a conversation about that in the future, and it's actually something you can have a go at as well. There we go. Trying to answer any questions that I haven't answered already. Other than that, guys, I'm going to go home. There we go. No, I've got that. I've answered that question. Thank you ever so much for joining me. For those of you guys listening on the recording, if there's any information you don't know and you want to hear, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm really, really grateful for your attendance tonight, guys. It's always a pleasure to see, 12, 13 people on a webinar. We had 30 signed up, technical hitch. We'll have to maybe do another one or send this one out. But that's just one of those things. Not everything can be done right first time. But other than that, I've really enjoyed your presence tonight, and I shall see you on the program.